The biggest mistake that novice gym enthusiasts make, and to be honest, even some experienced people make the same mistake, is the fact that they just randomly go from exercise to exercise based on what they feel like doing in the moment, almost like they're playing an open world video game or something. Now, the first exercise you do dictates the second. The second exercise you do dictates the third, so forth and so on. There's an order and there's a hierarchy that many people just aren't aware of. Are you doing one movement with a series of sets using the pyramid principle? Are you doing barbell rack work? Are you doing an EDT? Are you doing a circuit? It all matters. Rest periods matter. Exercise order matters. Individual exercise choice absolutely matters. Do you see all this chaos I'm creating in this game footage? Well, this is what you do when you strength train with no design within your program. Plain and simple. But many people train based on this philosophy here. Hey, that machine over there is free. Maybe I'll do that one next. Hey, that exercise that guy over there is doing looks interesting. Maybe I'll do that next. You know, that isn't a routine. That isn't a game plan. Now, I can't make this video 10 hours, so I can't get into strength training design in detail, at least not in this video. I just want to say that when you randomly go from exercise to exercise based on what you feel like doing, basically you're creating an accident that's just waiting to happen. There's an injury that's just waiting to happen. There's an overuse scenario that's just waiting to happen. Trust me on that. Now, the most egregious example I can come up with off the top of my head is years ago, I remember a kid doing a series of sets of back extensions. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the back extension apparatus, or how many of you are familiar with the back extension, but it's a movement that focuses on the lower back, and it's very lower back intensive. It really wears your lower back out, and the guy was actually holding on to external resistance, so it wasn't just his body weight. There was another 25 or 35 pounds that he was holding on to, so he was annihilating his lower back. And then after that, with relatively little rest, and bear in mind, even if he took 20 minutes rest, it wouldn't have been enough, but with very little rest, he went on to do squats, which blew my mind. That's horrible program design, because you have to understand that when you do a squat, your lower back is an assisting muscle group. It's a stabilizing muscle group that facilitates the bigger movement, which is the squat. Okay, so when your back is annihilated, you've made your weak link even weaker. So you could literally lose control of the weight and tip over, to be honest with you, and at the very least, you're severely overtraining the lower back. And the purpose of a squat is to break down muscle tissue in the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings, the middle back to an extent, the upper back to an extent, and the lower back to an extent. But if you've already annihilated your lower back, then once you get to the squat, you're just going to further that initial cause that you started with the back extensions. Before your quads become exhausted, your lower back is going to be screaming, which is a bad idea. Think of it this way. When you're squatting, your lower back is kind of like a soapbox that you stand on to make yourself more visible to your audience if you're preaching. Okay, if that soapbox is weakened or damaged, it won't support you. It may even break while you're preaching. So that's kind of how I see doing squats when your lower back has already been thoroughly trained. it makes no sense. It's just poor program design, no matter how you slice it. And I see that all the time with novice gym enthusiasts. So just understand that the order matters. Like I said before, rest periods matter. The exercises that you choose matter. Okay, and I'm going to repeat one more thing. First exercise dictates the second. Second exercise dictates the third, so forth and so on. Okay, so if you train your chest before you train if you train your triceps before you train your chest, you're just making your weak link weaker. If you train your biceps before you train your back, you're making your weak link weaker. Because as I said before, with bigger compound movements, smaller movements act as assisting or supporting muscle groups. Okay, when you train your chest, your triceps are an assisting muscle group. So it makes no sense to annihilate them before you train your chest, because the overload of your chest is going to suffer drastically. If you train your biceps before you train your back, you've nullified your back workout, because that weak link has been made weaker. Those biceps can no longer support you in this endeavor. It's that simple. So understand that the order you do your exercises in matters. Everything matters. And when you randomly go from exercise to exercise based on what you feel like doing in the moment, it serves no purpose. It's like you're playing an open world video game where you just do whatever you want based on what you feel like doing. Just like I'm doing in this video game footage. I'm just randomly doing what I want in the moment. No particular game plan, just having fun, like many people do when they play open world video games. The gym is not an open world video game. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to PLA Mind and Body Works. And I'll be back with more content on the fitness industry, personal training, and strength training in general. Thanks so much for watching.